Bonjour YouTube! In today's video we're going to talk about Roccia. She just released 2 days ago. I pulled for her, I got her weapon, I got her at S0, just one copy. And I finished building her basically. I got some decent echoes and an okay build. So in today's video I'm going to tell you what's the best build for her, the best teams, how she works, the gameplay, the rotations, and yeah, we'll showcase her a little bit in the Tower of Adversity as well. First, I want to say that I don't think she's insanely good. She's a good character, of course. Like, there's not really any bad characters in Wuthering Waves at the moment, but she's not a must pull. She's not super important to pull. Even if you have Camellia, if you have S6 Sanhua, or if you have just a good Sanhua in general, even without S6, it's still gonna be more than enough. But she's really fun to play. She has cool animation, she has cool voice lines, and she's pretty cute. I wasn't a big fan of her design at first necessarily, but she's actually pretty cool. I like her gameplay, so yeah, hopefully if you enjoy her, if you find her cool, definitely she's a good pull, but she's not a must pull. And if you feel like you want to save for a future character like Phoebe, Brent, or others, I think she's skippable. Now let's go over her kit real quick. So she's Havoc. She is a support slash sub DPS, similar to like Sanhua, for example, where basically you're gonna intro skill with her, deal some damage, get your Concerto as fast as possible, use everything, and then swap out to your Camellia or your main Havoc DPS that will get boosted by her. She has a lot of damage bonus in her kit, attack buff from her kit, so it's going to be very useful for your Camellia or your Havoc Rover or whoever you want to play with her. And yeah, so in terms of kits, her strength is going to be that, as I said, she gives a lot of buff, but she also has some grouping power with her abilities. So for example, if you use her skill that does this tornado, it groups the enemy with very like large AoE of pulling. So, and it can group like pretty big enemies as well. Of course not bosses, but basically all the enemies almost are going to get grouped by this attack. So it's very strong. And I think we were kind of missing some grouping in this game, so it's pretty nice. We had some grouping, but it wasn't really too good. Like Genshin Old was very small AoE and very like not pulling enemies from very far. Who else did we have? We had Jian that was kind of good against like a lot of small enemies. Yeah, we didn't have like insane pulling. Shangli Yao's ult also pulls quite well, but yeah, that's basically it. And then I think Shorekeeper's charge attack, but yeah, it wasn't really crazy. So here her pulling power is really insane, and she also gives you an extra tornado to pull the enemies after you swap out from her with her outro skill. So as you can see, her power of pulling is pretty big. As soon as I press my skill, even if they're pretty far from each other, boom, literally everyone is grouped. It's really strong. And after that, once you swap from her with her outro skill, so once you full charge her Concerto, and then you swap into your next character, you get a new ability on your tool, and when you press it, it basically does another smaller tornado. I think it pulls a little bit less compared to her own skill, but it's still pretty nice. So if there are a lot of enemies, like, she can pull them very well, and it works on like pretty big enemies, like on basically anything other than like big bosses. So it is pretty cool. It is really strong, and that pulling power it's very useful. Now in terms of buffs, she has a lot of buffs included in her kit. It's on her liberation. So after you use her liberation, she will give up to 200% attack, 200 attack to the whole team that you're using, depending on her crit rate. So if you have, for each point of crit rates over 50, for each 0.1 crit rate over 50, she will give 1 point of attack up to 200. So you need basically 70% crit rate to get her full buff on her liberation, which is not too hard to get. If you're using her weapon, it shouldn't be too hard. You use her weapon, you go crit rate main stat here, and then you're basically gonna be at 70 very easily. If you don't have her weapon, you can use Shangli Yao's weapon. You can use the battle pass weapon if you really need the crit rate. Otherwise, there's gonna be a lot of like some other options. I will come back to it a little bit later, but basically what you should aim for is 70 crit rate. If you're playing With Shorekeeper, which most likely is going to be part of her best team, you can go a little bit lower. So if you have 58 and then you get the 12% from Shorekeeper, it's going to be enough for 70 crit rate. But yeah, if you want to maximize her buff, you basically want 70 crit rate. It's not, if you're a little bit below, it's not the end of the world, but keep in mind that she deals very good damage. So if she can crit often as well, it's going to be very useful for her personal DPS. And also, last thing for her kit is that when you swap out from her with her outro skill and intro skill with the new Resonator, she will give Havoc damage 20% bonus and 25% basic attack damage bonus. So that's why she works perfectly well for Camellia that deals Havoc and basic attack damage bonus. But she can work with basically any Havoc damage DPS because you still get 20% Havoc damage, or any basic attack damage DPS because you still get 25% basic attack damage. So that was the main part of her kit. Now let's go over her weapons, the echoes, the sets that you want, what talents you should prioritize for best teams, and then I'll show you some rotations and explain a little bit more her gameplay into details. So yeah, for weapons, her weapon is going to be her best option. Of course, it gives crit rate, attack, and heavy attack damage bonus, which every time she does that jump attack, it is considered heavy attack damage. So she deals mainly heavy attack damage, so that weapon is really good and will give her a ton of damage. If you don't have her weapon, Cheng Liao's weapon can be pretty good, especially to reach the 70% crit rate easier. Like it's gonna be easier to reach the 70% crit rate with a 24% crit rate weapon. I just realized that I was hiding all the stats. So just to go back to it, Roccia's weapon gives 24, Cheng Liao's weapon gives 24, and then Battle Pass weapon gives around 20 at max level. So yeah, those weapons for reaching crit rate is really good. Plus the 2 5-stars are probably her best in slot. I mean, her signature is gonna be the best, and Cheng Liao is gonna be second best. For damage, the Abyss Surge gives a lot of attack, some energy, which is pretty good as well. She kind of wants some energy and some skill damage and stuff like that. So it's not terrible. And then finally, pure F2P option, 4 stars, Celestial Spiral, gives attack, gives resin, gives energy back, and extra attack. So it is very solid overall. You can use Marcato if you don't have any other option. It gives energy, gives more Concerto. But after playing her, you will see that she doesn't really need more Concerto energy back because her normal rotation will always give her full Concerto. So unless you get interrupted or something like that, it's gonna be unnecessary. So if you don't have any of those options, I would just go with Celestial Spiral. It is pretty solid. Now, in terms of set, she has 2 options. She has 2 options, all right? You can either go with the new Havoc set, Midnight Veil. I don't know where to put myself. Do I just put myself here? Anyways, you can go with the new Havoc set, Midnight Veil, that gives Havoc damage to the owner plus 15% damage, Havoc damage bonus after you swap out. 15% Havoc damage bonus after you swap out. So when you swap from Roccia into Camellia or Rover, they will gain 15% Havoc damage bonus. Or you can also go with the good old Moonlit Clouds. Moonlit Clouds give 22.5% attack to the incoming Resonator instead of the 15% Havoc damage of the new set. But the strength of this of Moonlit Clouds is that the 4 cost of Moonlit Clouds is going to be the Impermanence Heron, the old one. And when you use the Heron and then you swap into a new Resonator, it will also boost the damage by 12%. So overall damage buff from Moonlit Echoes, Moonlit Clouds is going to be higher than the new Havoc set for like your main DPS. But the Havoc set is going to be more damage for your Roccia. So if you want your Roccia to deal some good damage, this set is basically like you're not like it's not that much lower in terms of buff, and your Roccia is going to deal more damage. So overall, it should be a little bit better, but it's not a massive difference. So if you already have a good Moonlit Cloud set with Havoc damage and stuff like that, I wouldn't worry too much about getting the new set. Yeah, especially because if you use the new Havoc set, you don't really want to use Lorelei actually, because as you can see, it gives basic attack damage bonus to the equipped character. So The new Nightmare Heron is actually better for Roccia if you can get it. I don't have a good one yet. It's not really insane. So yeah, I'm still farming for that one, but it means you will have to spend some time farming the new Nightmare Heron. But this one gives havoc damage and heavy attack, which is most of Rocha's damage. So just gotta keep that in mind. But yeah, I mean overall, both are fine. It's just this one is gonna be a bit more damage for your Rocha. Mooning Clouds is gonna be a bit more damage for your main DPS, where Midnight Veil is gonna be a bit more damage for Rocha still. And yeah, in terms of stats, crit rate, crit damage, you can't go wrong with that. If you can get some heavy attack or attack percent substats, it's also great. And finally, the energy recharge. You will look for 140 energy recharge if you can. You really want to liberation every rotation, basically, because you absolutely want to refresh that buff. It lasts for 30 seconds, so it lasts pretty long, but yeah, basically, I mean, your rotation is going to be around that duration. Of course, it's probably going to be a bit low, a bit lower than that, like maybe 20-25 seconds rotation, but yeah, you really want to refresh that buff every rotation, so get as much energy as possible to be able to do that. And with my 125 energy on my Roccia, I'm a little short on energy. After one rotation, I do not have my liberation. I will show you a little bit later on the gameplay and stuff, but yeah, it's a little bit low. So if you can get 140, it's pretty nice, and that's why I think Abyss Surges is pretty good, or Celestial Spiral. Mercato can be an option though. Mercato can definitely be an option if you're really struggling with the energy, but it's gonna be a bit overkill. And after that, after crit rate, crit damage, energy, if you can get some attack or heavy attack damage bonus, it's good. It's not super important, but it's nice. It's still nice, but she's still not your main DPS, but if you want her to deal more damage, heavy attack damage, bonus, and attack percent are going to be great. In terms of main stats on your 3 cost, same as most characters, you can just go double havoc, and if you can't find double havoc, you can just go havoc attack. Honestly, it doesn't really matter too much. And if you really have 0 ER substat, honestly, just go ER main stat on one of those three costs. I think it's worth it. No, do I go plus 20? I go plus 20. Oh, terrible. Always one main elemental damage main stat. Oh, dude, all the time it's minimum rolls. It's crazy. Oh, dude, I keep getting min rolls non-stop. Unbelievable. I never get high rolls in this game. It's crazy. Oh! Oh my god. Oh my god, wait, that's really good. Energy, heavy attack, double crit. It's low crit rate though, but I think I'll have to go crit rate main stat even with her weapon. Unless like a double crit rate roll on substat here, but yeah, that's a good piece. I think I'm going with this. Okay, my crit rate is a bit low. Even though I'm running Shorekeeper, I'm not reaching 70, but I think I'm quite happy with this actually. It's a very good piece. In terms of talent priority, you will want to level up the Forte first. Because all her damage with her heavy attacks are going to scale with the Forte, so this is going to be the most important part. And the Liberation, it deals pretty good damage. You will use it almost every rotation. I mean, preferably every rotation. So yeah, Forte, Liberation, and then you can go with the skill. Honestly, the skill doesn't deal too bad damage, and I mean, you will use it every rotation as well. So, but priority to Forte. And then, of course, the two spells, I mean, the 2 talents here are also pretty important. Not insanely important, because realistically, the magic box is not super useful most of the time. Like, the grouping, most of the time in TOA or in, like, hard content is going to be single boss, so it's not really super insane, but it's still nice. And yeah, all her damage when you do that attack here, that plunge attack, is counted as a heavy attack and scales with her Forte circuit, so gotta keep that in mind. In terms of Copies. It's okay. Testing resonance skill grants 100 additional imagination and 10 concerto energy. S1 makes it so her rotation is a bit faster and also makes it so she's harder to interrupt, which is pretty nice, honestly, because if she gets interrupted, it's pretty annoying. The rotation's kind of cooked, but it's not crazy. It makes it a bit faster, but it's not insane. Like, it's not really necessary. Her rotation's already quite fast. Now, S2 is pretty crazy. S2 is pretty crazy. After you use basic attack, you gain 10% havoc damage for the whole team for 30 seconds, up to 3 times. So 30% havoc damage for 30 seconds. And once you get the 3 stacks, you get an extra 10%, so 40% havoc damage. It's pretty massive. Now, best teams for Roccia. First best team is going to be Camellia team with Shorekeeper. It's basically where she's going to shine the most. Going to deal the most damage. Her rotation is fast. It's perfect for to like do intro and stuff really fast for Shorekeeper buff, etc. So she replaces Sanhua very well in terms of like speed of rotation. She's a little bit slower than Sanhua, but it's not really that much, and she deals a bit more damage, so it kind of compensates. But yeah, it's gonna be her best team basically. After that, you can use basically any Havoc DPS. You can do Rover, you can do Dungeon if you like Dungeon, and then I mean that's basically all the Havoc damage we have. Surely you're not gonna use Taucha, but yeah, any Havoc DPS can kind of benefit from Roccia, so pretty nice for this. But you can also kind of use her with like some characters that deal basic attack. There's not too many characters that deal basic attack at the moment, but yeah, she's pretty quick to swap out and get the intro and stuff like that. So even if she doesn't necessarily synergize perfectly with your main DPS, she can deal pretty good damage with very low on-field time. So you could use something like that, for example, with Changli, Verena, Roccia. Personally, I've been having so much fun with Carlota, Changli recently, where they work so good together. Very quick swaps with the characters and tons of damage. Even if you don't get the most damage from Carlota or Changli, the fact that you can swap so fast makes it so you get so much damage. And Roccia can do basically something very similar to this. So you could also just do that, honestly, and it would work potentially pretty well. I haven't tested it too much yet. I haven't tested every single team, but she can fit in basically any team. Give you some grouping, give you some quick swap, and yeah, she works great. You can even do something like that, honestly. That could work pretty good. Like, yeah, she has some good damage and very quick swap. But her best teams are definitely going to be Camellia with Shorekeeper, or like any Havoc character with Shorekeeper or Verena. And then, yeah, that's basically it. In terms of gameplay, there's a few things to say about Roccia's gameplay. As I said earlier, her rotations are pretty fast. I will show you the full rotation now and explain it as I'm doing it. So like in most Shorekeeper teams, you will want to stack your Concerto energy at the start of the fight so you can do your intro skill as soon as possible. Boom. As soon as you enter with Roccia, you want to do one normal attack to get that stack of Forte Circuit, and then you want to ult to get the buffs, and then you want to skill so you get the last stacks, and then plunge, 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 and you get your full Concerto instantly. So with the full rotation of Roccia, you will get all your Concerto energy, and then you can start DPSing with your Camellia. Bro, she's doing so much damage, it's really absurd right now. What the fuck? And then, boom! Okay, I was a bit slow with my rotation, so I couldn't like get most of the damage, but you get why you kind of saw the rotation. So that's basically it, honestly. And then you just repeat that rotation as often as you need to kill the boss. So Shorekeeper... Oh, shit. Shorekeeper into Roccia, into normal attack, into Liberation, into skill, into triple plunge, doing 27, into Echo, Camellia, and GG. That's basically it. Boom. Doing less damage than usual. I think it's because I'm outside of Shorekeeper ult, but... And then, yeah, I mean, you stack your Concerto on Camellia, and then you swap back to Shorekeeper, and then you just repeat that rotation. If you do it fast, you will get Shorekeeper's intro basically every time. And as you can see, with 135 energy, that wasn't too bad, honestly. With 135 energy, I'm a little bit short still on the third rotation, so... First two rotation, that was fine, but third rotation with 135 energy was a little bit short, so... I think if I can get, I think 140 is pretty comfortable, honestly. I think if you can get 140, 145 energy on your Roccia, you're gonna be good for at least 3 rotation, maybe probably even every rotation. So now, after showing you the basic rotation for her main team, it's gonna be this for like most teams where you play Shorekeeper. I also want to show you how you can quick swap with her, because you can swap very fast, basically. Like, basically every time she's like doing her plunge attack, her jump attack, you can swap to her character and go back to her, which is very, very valuable. And yeah, it basically makes it so she takes very low on-field time, and you can swap basically all the time. So oh my god, I'm pig off. And then here, if I skill, and then boom, plunge, I can go back to Roccia, go to Carlota, go back to Roccia, plunge again, echo, and then swap to Carlota. It was not necessary here, but just so you can see, like, I was able to weave in a few damage from Carlota while doing my combo with Roccia, which was pretty nice. If you do something like that with Chengli Yao or Chengli or stuff like that, it's even going to be probably even better, because they have more quick damage like that. So yeah, you can basically quick swap with anything. It is pretty nice. Boom. I got my energy back as well, so that's pretty cool. Oh my god, she stays up so long. It's actually so good. What the hell? Damn, that was pretty good. That was pretty nice. I kind of liked it. Oh my god. These boss, they move too much. Swear to god. We get the intro skill with Shorekeeper, so that's pretty cool. Boom, my ults. I'm waiting for him to move. And I actually almost basically perfect energy with 135, 140. Boom, I can go Carlota. Boom, I can go back to... And I can... Oh my god, wait, that works so good. Wait, that actually works so freaking good. Oh my god, I loved it. I haven't done it too much yet, so that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool to swap into... And... Masterpiece complete, just like this guide. Just like this guide. Honestly, I think that's basically all I had to say about Roccia. Make sure you do that normal attack after the intro skill to get that forte bar, because that's really important for the full combo. But yeah, I think I said basically everything there was to say about Roccia. Overall, she's a great character. You could see the damage was very solid. I don't have the best build either. Like, my talents are not maxed. My ratio is kind of cooked. I would need a bit more crit rate still. And yeah, overall, she's pretty cool. She's very fun to play. You can do a lot of cool stuff with her. She's cute. I like her charge attack, even though you literally never use it. It's very funny. It's very funny in my opinion. And then that plunge attack is so cool as well. And she stays on her box like for so long. You can swap all the time during that, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, if you have any more questions, let me know in the comments. Join the Discord if you need any help with tower adversity or anything. I think I said most of it in this guide, and yeah, I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Have a beautiful day. Bye bye.